बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। आनंद मानंद कर प्रसन्नम प्रेम स्वरूपम ब्रज भावयुक्तम योगीन्द्रमीड्यम भवरोग वैद्यम गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यम्। वराहपीडं नटवरवपुः कर्णयोः कर्णिकारम् वन्दे नवघनश्यामं पीतकौशेय वाससं सानन्दं सुन्दरं शुद्धं श्रीकृष्णं प्रकृतेः परम्। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं ह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of God, let's sing from Book 1, page number is 79. If you don't have the bhajan book, please raise your hand. And may I request on both sides, if you could just reduce the gap, if you could move forward, and don't leave a gap in between. Thank you. There are books right over here, you can pick them up. Page 79. ऊधो भली करी तुम आए। भली करी तुम आए ऊधो भली करी तुम आए ऊधो ऊधो भली करी तुम आए ऊधो भली करी तुम आए ऊधो भली करी तुम आए उधो,
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 यह ब्रज एक जादू की नगरी,
यह ब्रज एक जादू की नगरी,
ज्ञानी हूँ ज्ञान गमाए उधो,
ज्ञानी हूँ ज्ञान गमाए उधो,
श्रीयुत करन परम हंसन कहाँ,
श्रीयुत करन परम हंसन कहाँ,
यह ब्रज हरि प्रकटाए उधो,
यह ब्रज हरि प्रकटाए उधो,
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 भली करी तुम आए उधो,
भली करी तुम आए उधो,
नीरस ज्ञान सरस करीबे को,
नीरस ज्ञान सरस करिवे को,
नीरस ज्ञान सरस करीबे को,
नीरस ज्ञान सरस करिवे को,
माधव तो ही पठाए उधो, Yogi Raj Shambhu Sanakadik
Yogi Raj Shambhu Sanakadik
Yogi Raj Shambhu Sanakadik
Yogi Raj Shambhu Sanakadik
Je aaye Varaye Uddho
Je aaye Varaye Uddho
Vachan Kripalu Gudha Suni 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 Uddho
बूढ़े थाह न पाए उद्धो
बूढ़े था न पाए उद्धो
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 बूढ़े थाह न पाए उद्धो
बूढ़े था न पाए उद्धो
भली करी तुम आए 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 उद्धो
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 This is one of the divine compositions of Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj from Prem Ras Madira. Suffering separation from Shri Krishna, the beloved Krishna, the Gopis, the illiterate milk maidens of Vrindavan, are saying, O Uddhav, you did well to come here. This Braj, this land, is a magical land where great men of knowledge, great Gyanis, lose their knowledge. Braj was manifested by the Lord in order to give the bliss of divine love to the Paramhansas, the ones who deny God with name and form. Our beloved Madhav has sent you to us so that your dry knowledge may be filled with sweet nectar. Lord Shankar, the Lord of the yogis and Gyanis, and eternally self-satisfied souls, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanak and others, they came to Braj and became mad in Krishna's love. Says Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, hearing these deeply meaningful words of the Gopis, Uddhav drowned so deeply in the ocean of divine love that he could not surface again. When the Supreme Lord Krishna descends to earth towards the end of the Dwapar age, he comes here to perform many divine works. Just as when you leave your house, you leave with a plan, you leave with a to-do list, and you go out of the house to do many chores. In the same way, the Supreme Lord, Purnatam Purushottam, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, descends to earth to perform many divine works. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, says the Gita, that from time to time he descends to earth to protect the devotees, to annihilate the demons, and to establish the principles of dharma. When things are not going well in the world, people are becoming forgetful of what dharma is, and the evil forces are tormenting the devotees, then God comes down to earth and he does many works. He establishes dharma, destroys the evil, and protects the devotees. One of the tasks that Sri Krishna comes here to fulfill is to bless the Paramhansas, the ones who deny God with name and form. They are dry men of knowledge and they are deprived of the sweetest nectar of Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna descends to earth to fill their hearts with divine love. Uddhav was the greatest Jnani of his time. Towards the end of Dwapar, he was the topmost Jnani of his time. He was also a friend of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna felt sorry for him because Uddhav has Sri Krishna as his very good friend, and yet Uddhav says, there's no such thing as God with name and form. There's only Brahma, the nameless, formless God. That is it. Sri Krishna wanted to grace his friend because he was deserving. Uddhav was a deserving soul. So Sri Krishna sent him to the Gopis, saying, "O Uddhav, go to Braj and you'll find the milk maidens known as the Gopis over there. There's lots of them. There are lots of Gopis there, and I want you to go there and give them your knowledge." Knowledge. The knowledge meaning, Sri Krishna did not say it outright, but what he meant was the knowledge that you have attained from the verses of the Vedas. And because of that knowledge, you have become who you are. You become a Jnani. I want you to go to the Gopis because they are the personification of the verses of the Vedas that you have learned from. They are the knowledge that you have attained. They are the ones through whose grace you have attained the knowledge. So go to them and give them back your knowledge. What Uddhav understood was, these Gopis are illiterate, they don't have any knowledge. Give them knowledge. Make them knowledgeable. Sri Krishna, as you know, is tedhe medhe. Nothing about him is straight. He can't even stand straight. He's Tribhangi Lal. His beautiful divine body curves at 3 different places, at the neck, at the waist, and at the ankles. Now we would find it very difficult to stand like that, curving our body in even one place. His body is curved at 3 places. And everything about him, say the Rasik saints, the greatest devotees of Sri Krishna, they say everything about him is crooked, nothing is straight. The way he bestows grace is also very crooked. It's in very surprising ways he bestows grace. So he is trying to bestow the ultimate grace on Uddhav. And he sends Uddhav to the Gopis, all the while suggesting to Uddhav that he will go to the Gopis and make them knowledgeable. When Uddhav goes to the Gopis, when he goes to Braj, the Gopis say, "It's good that you have come here. You did well to come here." Because this Braj is a land of magic. But this magic doesn't work on everyone. The magic of Braj does not work on everyone. But it will work on Uddhav. Because Uddhav is deserving. Uddhav's heart is very pure. He has done a lot of Gyan Sadhana. His mind is very pure. His mind is now ready to receive something very great. He's pure-hearted. So he is deserving. Sri Krishna's magic does not work on everyone. The sound of his flute does not reach the ears of every person. The flute may be playing, Sri Krishna may be playing his flute, but even if we were sitting or standing a few feet away, we did not hear it, because the undeserving ears do not hear the flute of Krishna. We did not inhale his divine fragrance, but the pure-hearted ones did. Only the deserving ones can see him. Only the deserving ones can hear him. Only the deserving ones can inhale his fragrance. Only the deserving ones will be affected by the magic of the land of Braj. So the Gopis say that, "Oh, it's good that you have come here. You did well." If someone who is impure of heart, we are all impure of heart, we go to Braj. Even today, Braj is there, Vrindavan and vicinity. The land of Braj is still there, we go there. But we don't see Krishna there. We see many people there. And we comment on that. I made many friends when I went to Vrindavan. I bought a house there. And Vrindavan is a very comfortable place. I bought a house and it's well equipped and I'm living a good life in Vrindavan. I saw the temples, I saw lots of people, I saw a lot of devotees, I saw a lot of cows, I saw a lot of garbage. I saw a lot of deceit. We even say that. But did you see Krishna? No, I didn't see him. So Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, Shri Maharaj used to caution devotees. He used to say, before you go to Vrindavan, before you go to Braj, physically, visit Braj in your mind. Go there mentally, so that you are prepared to go there physically one day. But don't go there and look at things that are going wrong there. Oh, the water is not good. Too much mess over there. Why doesn't somebody clean up Vrindavan? Why doesn't someone clean up Yamuna? Don't go there and pass such remarks. Don't see all of this when you go to Vrindavan. Because if you do, then you're committing an offense. So it is best that you go to Vrindavan in your mind. Shri Vrindavan Dham Chalo Man Shri Vrindavan Dham. Sri Maharaji says, "Oh my mind, let's go to Vrindavan. Let's go to Vrindavan. So let's prepare our mind so that when we go there physically," Sri Maharaji said, once you're prepared to go to Vrindavan, when you reach there physically, as soon as you step into Vrindavan, you should lose consciousness. Thinking, this is the ground that my Lord walked upon. He walked here barefoot. This is where he performed his pastimes, his leelas. This Brahmand Ghat, this is where he showed his universal form, his form as the Supreme Lord to his mother, when she asked him to open his mouth so she could check to see if he was eating dirt, whether or not he was eating dirt. Then his mouth opened all by itself because of fear, and in this tiny little mouth of her son, Yashoda had seen countless universes. This is the place, Brahmand Ghat. Even today, people take prasad in Brahmand Ghat. The prasad are laddus, they're shaped like laddus, round, but they're made of the dirt of Brahmand Ghat. And people accept that as prasad. That is a prasad in Brahmand Ghat. This is the same Yamuna where Krishna chased away Kaliya. This is where he danced on the hoods of Kaliya Nag. This is the same Yamuna. So when you go to Vrindavan, you should lose consciousness, says Sri Maharaji. So go there before going physically, visit there mentally. The Jnani says, I am Brahma. This is what Uddhav would have been saying. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. Now Uddhav was truly following the path of Gyan authentically. But there are so many people in Kali Yuga who claim to be following the path of Gyan, all the while being completely unaware that to start following the path, even to start hearing about the path of Gyan, you need to be deserving of doing that. You need adhikaritva, you need to be adhikari, you need to be deserving of even hearing Brahmopadesh. You need to have a pure heart before you can even hear the lecture on Brahma. They may not even know how to pronounce the words, like Tattvamasi, Tattvam Asi, thou art that, you are that, you are Brahma. Sri Maharaji tells us an anecdote where he was in a certain place in India, and a lady visited Sri Maharaji, and she had many followers with her. Sri Maharaji asked her, what is your philosophy? What do you teach people? And she said, Tattvamasi. Maharaji said, Tattvamasi? What is that? She said, are you not familiar with the Vedas? Sri Maharaji smiled and said, what do you mean? She said, Tattvamasi. Maharaji said, I heard about Isa Masi, Christ, but Tattvamasi. And then after some time, Sri Maharaji said, oh, I see, she's trying to say Tattvamasi. That is a mantra she was giving to her followers. But she didn't know anything about this, so she wasn't even saying Tattvamasi. She was breathing a sacred mantra in the ear, and that was Tattvamasi. It doesn't mean anything, Tattvamasi. These days, this is the kind of farce that goes on. I'm walking on the path of Gyan, but I have no idea what that means. But Uddhav was truly a Jnani. He was truly a man of knowledge. His heart was very pure. But he could not attain freedom from Maya without God's grace. Because Maya will only leave us once God graces us. Without God's grace, Maya cannot leave the individual. Maya will control that individual until Sri Krishna says, listen, leave this one alone. This one is surrendered to me now. I am gracing this individual. I'm telling you to leave this one alone. So the jnani, when he reaches a very advanced stage of Gyan Marg, of his path, he goes beyond space, air, fire and water, and even ahankar, ego. There's no more ego within him. The feeling that I am the doer, that has left him. Ego is gone. But there's Mahan and Prakriti, Prakriti meaning Maya. He cannot cross them. He cannot cross them, he cannot transcend them. So now what he needs to do is bhakti to Sri Krishna. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. Bhagavad Gita. You have gone the furthest that you can on your path of Gyan? Yes. You have become an Atma Jnani? Yes. But you're still lacking. You have not attained freedom from Maya. So for that, you need to surrender to me, says Sri Krishna. You need to practice parabhakti. You need to practice devotion unto me. When you practice devotion unto me, then I shall grace you and then Maya will leave you. Because this Maya is not an ordinary power. It is Mama Maya. It is my power. And when I energize this power, then this power called Maya becomes as powerful as myself. So how could Uddhav attain the ultimate goal of life? How could he attain freedom from Maya? His Gyan Marg only takes him to Atma Gyan. Now he knows he's the Gyani, he knows he's an Atma. He does not identify himself to be the physical body. He knows very well, he experiences it, that I'm not the body. I am not the body, I am the soul. The soul is what I am. He experiences it. But he's stuck because his path will not take him any further. His path has now left him, it has finished. It will not take him any further. Every path except for the path of bhakti comes to an end. For instance, the path of karma and dharma takes the karmi to Swargalok, that too with great difficulty. And then it leaves. It doesn't do anything else, it just dies. It leaves the individual. The path of Gyan takes one to Atma Gyan and then Gyan is gone. Yoga also finishes after it takes the yogi to the highest stage that it can. But Amrita Swarupacha, Narad Bhakti Darshan, Narad ji says that bhakti or devotion is Amrit Swarupa. It is eternal. Devotion never leaves you. Meaning, in the sadhana avastha, right now, we are sadhaks, we are trying to practice devotion to Sri Krishna, we are chanting Radhe Radhe. When we get into Bhav Bhakti, even at Bhav Bhakti, we will have to chant, we will be chanting Radhe Radhe. In the Siddha stage, when we have attained God realization, in Golok, we will still be chanting Radhe Radhe. Even Sri Krishna always chants Radhe Radhe. So bhakti never leaves. Bhakti is eternal. It is Amar. Amrita Swarupa Cha. And by practicing devotion, taking the shelter of devotion, the Jnani becomes Jnana Yogi. Now Shri Krishna will grace him because now he is practicing devotion to Shri Krishna. And now if the Jnani says, I want to attain you, then Shri Krishna says, now you come to me to Golok. If the Jnani says, no, I wish to merge within your Brahma aspect, all right, now you'll attain liberation. But even the liberation of the Jnani, known as Kaivalya, Ekatva, Moksha, where he merges within Brahma, even that cannot be attained without the practice of devotion. So every path needs the path of devotion to take the individual to the highest, to the ultimate goal. This is why Gauranga Mahaprabhu says, Bhakti Mukha Nirikshat, Karma, Yoga, Gyan, all these other paths look towards the goddess of devotion to say, please, grace us, fulfill. Every path is saying, fulfill me, because I cannot go any further than this. So the karmi does not attain God, but karma yogi does. In other words, he has added devotion into his path, he will attain God. Jnani does not attain God, he only attains Atma Gyan. But when he practices devotion, he becomes Gyan Yogi. Now he attains God. Every path needs shelter, needs to take the shelter of the path of bhakti. But there are many people even today. In Satyug, there was 1/4 of them who were saying God is only without name and form. There's always been this argument. There are some who will say God is only with name and form, and there are others who will say God is only without name and form. The fact is that God is both with and without name and form. Murtan chaiva murtan dve eva brahmano rupe itayupanishattayorva dvau bhaktau bhagavadupadishtau kleshad kleshadva mukti syadetayor madhye. Murt as well as amurt. God is manifest as well as unmanifest. God has name and form, and God is also without name and form. Whenever it is needed, God assumes a name and form. Think about it. We have a name, we have a form, and we are so insignificant. We belong to Him. We are His servants, eternal servants. How can it be that the servant is able to do something, but the master is not able to do it? No, God cannot take on a form. Why not? He can take on any form. Form of a human, form of an animal, form of any creature. Form of half man, half lion. Shri Krishna took the form of a cloth, Ambaravatar, for the sake of Draupadi. Nothing is impossible for him. So there was a man who went out and he heard the lectures on Aham Brahmasmi. He heard that everyone is Brahma. I am Brahma, you are Brahma, all are Brahma. And his wife got fed up with that. He would say, I am Brahma. Not that I am a servant of Brahma. I am not a servant of God. I am God myself, because then you don't have to do any sadhana. Right? Even if you say, I'm a part and parcel of Brahma, you still might have to do some sadhana. But if I am Brahma, what do I have to do? I don't have to do anything. So he heard this lecture, and he started saying to his wife, I am Brahma. And his wife got fed up, and she was very intelligent. So she decided to teach him a lesson. She started stealing glances at the man next door, Padosi, the neighbor. Her husband took note. He said, why are you looking at him? She said, I like him. What? No, I like him. What do you mean? Well, I mean, he said, but I'm your husband. Why are you being disloyal to me? She said, I'm not. You know that you are Brahma. I am Brahma. The neighbor is also Brahma. So I don't differentiate anymore. Ever since I heard you say that, you have opened my eyes. So you are my husband and I love you, but I also love the neighbor. And I don't know, if I look at others, I will love them too. Because they're all Brahm. I have now this drishti, I have this, you open my eyes and I look at everybody in the same way. And her husband said, no, this is not true. This is bad. You're being characterless, this and that. And she said, but your philosophy says this. Because he had started to do all this. He had started going on the wrong path, and he would say, well, I just don't see any difference between you and her and her. So she said, let me give you a taste of your own medication. Well, he did not like it at all. She said, well, either change your philosophy or I will keep on doing this. And he said, forgive me. Forgive me, I don't believe in this philosophy anymore, that I am Brahma, you are Brahma, all are Brahma. Again, there was a man who latched onto this philosophy, Aham Brahmasmi. He heard this. There was no philosophy that he understood. He only heard, I am God. And he said, I like this. I am God. वैसे भी पति परमेश्वर होता है. Actually, it's not pati parmeshwar. That it's not that husband is God. It's the other way around. Parmeshwar pati hota hai. The Supreme Lord, He is the true husband. Husband, pati means protector. God is the true protector. He is the true beloved. Not that husband is God, but God is the husband. So this man now started saying, I am Brahma, and I don't see any difference between you and this one and that one. And the wife was indignant. She said, what is this? So again, she served him dinner one day, and he was looking forward to it because he was very hungry. When he came to the table, he saw a pile of garbage there. And he asked her, he said, what's this? Why do you have garbage over here? Where's my dinner? And she said, this is your dinner. This is my dinner? Nonsense. What is all this? What is this joke? She said, no, I understand what a high position you're at right now. You see all as Brahma. So I'm sure you don't see any difference between roti and rice and vegetables and dal and this trash. So please enjoy. He also understood that this is not going to work for me. It's easy to say Aham Brahmasmi. Adi Shankaracharya was going somewhere. He was being followed by one of the devotees, one of his disciples. Adi Shankaracharya was saying Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am Shiv, I am Shiv. Because he is indeed Bhagwan Shankar. So he's saying Shivoham, Shivoham. And the disciples start saying Shivoham, Shivoham, blindly, just following the Guru. Well, Guru must be followed, but the philosophy of the Guru must be followed, the instructions of the Guru. If the Guru is saying, I am God, you don't follow that. So Adi Shankaracharya went into a foundry where they melt iron. There's molten iron over there. And Adi Shankaracharya picked it up and drank it, just like we drink water or milk. He drank the molten iron. Then he turned to the disciple and said, your turn. He said, Gurudev, I will die if I drink this. I cannot drink molten iron? Then son, you have no right to say Shivoham, Shivoham. Stop saying that. It's easy to say, I am God. But am I omniscient? Am I omnipresent? Do I know everything? Am I Sarvagya? Am I everywhere? I'm not. Do I possess unlimited happiness? Am I happiness? No, I've got so much misery in my life. So how can you say you are Brahma? Shri Maharaj Ji says in Bhakti Shatak, Atma vich Paramatma karat nivas sadai yate kahu kahu Atma Paramatma kahalai. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Soul dwells within the individual soul. This is why sometimes the scriptures call Atma Paramatma. They call the individual soul Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. That does not mean that the individual soul should think, oh, I am Paramatma, I am the Supreme Soul. I am a das, I'm a servant of God, I am not God. I'm a part and parcel of Him. I'm His Ansh, He's my Anshi. I am not Him, I'm not Brahma. So realizing that, knowing that Uddhav cannot be graced until he goes to the gopis. You see, Sri Krishna could have, the question arises, why didn't Sri Krishna grace Uddhav? Why did he have to send him to the gopis? Sri Krishna is God and the gopis are the gurus. The laws of God are eternal and they're eternally perfect. The laws of God, the eternal laws of God, there are many of them, and each one of them is perfect. One of the laws is that God says, I shall not give grace directly to anyone. I will send my pure representative on earth, the Guru, to earth, and I will give my grace through the Guru. And so, O individual souls, desiring my grace, you just surrender to the Guru. Surrender to one who is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham, the one who possesses complete knowledge, theoretical knowledge of all scriptures, and the one who has a practical experience of me. One who has experienced me, one who has a practical experience of God. He's Brahmanisht. That is why he has the theoretical knowledge. That is why he is Shrotriyam. Who can have the complete knowledge of all scriptures? Who can know the Vedas and Vedic scriptures? Certainly not someone who has read them. It is only someone who has surrendered to God and attained the grace of God who can have complete knowledge of all scriptures. That is a guru. So Sri Krishna says, surrender to the Guru, and then I shall grace you, because I give my grace not directly but indirectly through the Guru. So Sri Krishna sent Uddhav to the gopis. And Uddhav was very, very pure of heart. Yavat papaistu malinam hridayam tavadevahi na shastre satyata buddhi sadbuddhi sadgurau tatha. Brahma Vaivarta Puran says that if the heart is impure, the words of the Guru will have no impact on him. God's impact, the impact of God will not be felt by someone who is impure of heart. But the pure-hearted ones, they will immediately be drawn to God and godly saints. Just like a magnet is immediately, rapidly drawn to pure iron, in the very same way. Uddhav was pure-hearted, so he was drawn to what the gopis were saying. Yes, he gave his lecture, because he was, after all, the biggest jnani, the greatest jnani of his time. And Sri Krishna had fooled him. Sri Krishna had mercifully deceived Uddhav by saying, give them your knowledge. So Uddhav gave his knowledge. O gopis, listen to me. Thinking these women are very emotional. Women are more emotional types. They've been crying for him. But do they not know that they are Brahma? You are Brahma. Why do you need to cry for Brahma? So he gave them his Upadesh, the lecture. Then he asked them, have you understood? And they all went like this. Can you imagine if a teacher is teaching a lesson to the class and doing a really good job, trying her best, and when the teacher asks the class, the students, you've understood the lesson, right? And everybody goes, no. So Uddhav said, you haven't understood? And the gopi said, Uddhavji, मन ना भये 10-20। उद्धव जी मन ना भये 10-20। एक हु तो सो गयो श्याम संग। को अवराधे ईस। उद्धव जी मन ना भये 10-20। Uddhav ji, tell us, how can we understand your lecture? As you know, the mind is the only worker that we have. The mind is the one that does everything for us. And that mind of ours has been taken away by your friend, Krishna. He has stolen our minds, he has stolen our hearts. So our minds are with Krishna. Either you bring our minds back from him, then you give us the lecture, we will understand. But as it is, we have not understood anything because our mind is with your friend, Krishna. And Uddhav was astonished to hear this. He was astonished to see the gopis when he said to them, I know you're missing him very much. The gopis said, who told you that? We see him everywhere. Uddhav, there he is. Uddhav, oh, there he is. There he is. We see him in all the directions, Uddhav. In fact, there was a gopi who seemed to be meditating in Vrindavan. Naradji came upon this gopi and he thought, that's odd. The path of Gyan or Yog, in the path in the land of love? Is this Yogini? What is she doing here in Braj? So he cleared his throat and he said, excuse me, Mataji. She opened her eyes, she did pranam to Narad Muni. Naradji said, who are you meditating on? Are you meditating on Sri Krishna? And the gopi said, please don't mention his name. And Naradji said, what do you mean? Oh, Naradji, he's on my mind constantly, 24 hours a day. I can't get any household work done. Please do not mention his name. I am meditating to get him out of my mind. He's always on my mind. I want him out of my mind for a while. Earlier, the gopi was doing pranam to Narad Muni. Now Narad Muni is doing pranam to the gopi. While the rest of the world is trying to do sadhana to get Sri Krishna into the mind, you are doing the opposite sadhana. You want to get him out of your mind? Blessed are you, O gopi. Naradji understood this was no yogini. She was a devotee. So, Uddhav was pure-hearted, so he understood what the gopis were saying. He was ready to receive that love, the gift of love from the gopis, and they graced him. They gave him that gift because he was deserving. Uddhav had never cried for Brahma. Why would you cry for Brahma? Now he started to cry for Krishna. When he went back to Sri Krishna, he said, Oh Madhav, you sent me to Braj. I did not know why you sent me there. I didn't understand. But you have put tears in my eyes through the gopis. Now I see you. I don't see the Supreme Lord as only Brahma. Now I recognize that you are my Brahma who has come with name and form. Uddhavji cried with love, and Sri Krishna's mission was fulfilled through the gopis. Uddhavji said, Tum mohi bhali pathai Madho. Oh Madhav, what a wonderful thing you did to send me to the gopis. The gopis were saying, Bhali kari tum aaye Uddhav. And Uddhav is saying to Sri Krishna, Tum mohi bhale pathai Madho. Oh Madhav, you did well to send me to the gopis. For the gopis have made me into a devotee. Even the greatest jnani needs to practice devotion. The jnanis say that their leader is Adi Shankaracharya. Perhaps they do not realize that Adi Shankaracharya prayed for Krishna's grace. He prayed for God's grace. Matsyadi bhiravatarai ravata ravata sada vasudham parimeshwar paripalyo bhavata bhavatap bhito ham Narayan karunamaya sharanam karavam tavakau charanau. Words of Adi Shankaracharya, who says, "O my Supreme Lord, you have come to earth countless times in different forms. Matsyadi, you have come in the form of a fish and so many other forms. You have come in so many forms to relieve the burden of Mother Earth, to uplift sinners. I am also a sinner. I, Shankaracharya, I am also a sinner. Won't you come here for my sake also? Will you not come here and redeem me?" Adi Shankaracharya is shedding tears of love. We chant that long, beautiful Sanskrit shlok by Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya, Yamuna Nikat. So beautiful it is. And we've all fallen in love with it. Yamuna nikat tatasthit. No, I won't sing the whole thing. But you know, beautiful, beautiful words composed by Adi Shankaracharya, praising Sri Krishna, glorifying him. Without bhakti, the jnani cannot attain liberation from Maya. He gets stuck at one place. He cannot transcend Mahan and Prakriti. He cannot go beyond Maya. Now he needs to practice devotion. This is why Uddhav was sent by Sri Krishna to the land of Braj to learn from the Gopis. He went to the Gopis with a dry heart, with a heart that was filled with dry knowledge, and he returned from them with a heart full of devotion and shedding tears of love for Sri Krishna. Bhali kari tum aaye, Uddhav, the Gopi said, you did well to come here. बोलिए श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय